All right, Fox News Alert. Two major developments breaking this morning in the wake of the Paris terror attacks on Friday. The mastermind ID'd. He's Abdullah Aboud, and ISIS has promised America will be attacked next, just 1 week after our president made a much different assessment.
I don't think they're gaining strength. What is true is that from the start, our goal has been first to contain, and we have contained them. They have not gained ground in Iraq, and in Syria, they'll come in, they'll leave, but you don't see this systematic march by ISIL across the terrain.
The problem is they came in and they stayed. Why does it seem this administration is constantly wrong and always underestimating threats in the Middle East, especially with the JV team ISIS? Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer is a senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research. Colonel, now today, with the president so wrong, proven so wrong up until today, does anything change after today?
Well, they have to, Brian. I mean, come on. We've seen ISIS consolidate its gains, and they're doing something called asymmetric warfare. This is what you do to an adversary which is literally a order of magnitude larger than you. You hit him where he can't get to you easily. So that's what's going on here. The president denial that he's fighting the last war. And what's worse is he marches people like Ben Rhodes out to lie to the American people. Let me be clear on this. There is no screening process for the refugees. So the fact that he is both denying these facts, putting his own political spin masters out to lie to the American people, tells me that the president still is not fully understanding the level and scope of the threat we're facing. It's totally insane.
Or choosing not to. And by the way, the fine arts major said robust screening of refugees, which is laughable because Syria has no records to review. Their country is a failed country. General Dunford took over as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Right.
And many like you had great hopes when he took over. Do you have a reason to still feel hope?
Well, I do. Now, look, the fact is this, is that the president, I think, is being forced to reconsider his entire policy and strategy for the Middle East by the fact it is failing. So I think you have reasoned people, individuals who are professionals, who have dedicated their entire lives to this country. Both the Pentagon professionals and intelligence professors are saying, Mr. President, look, you got to accept the reality which we have, not the reality you want to have. And I think General Dunford has started doing a review, both of strategy and tactics, to figure out what we need to do to actually defeat ISIS, not simply try to keep it at bay.
I understand that the friction is so bad between the Pentagon and the White House they're barely talking, but yet the president's talking one-on-one to Russia. Is he trying to get Russia to do our work, and then, of course, Russia would own the Middle East?
Russia has made great gains under this president. Things that we thought we had settled back in the 70s have come back now to show that we have lost our way. Brian, you know, this is what happens when you lead from behind. You lose control of a situation, and simply put, nature abhors a vacuum. Someone will fill it. Russia's filling it. In this case, they got to do things to help stabilize Syria. We should help them with that. Beyond that, we have differences we should look at. This is not a good situation.
Colonel, you do this for a living. People are calling that a sophisticated operation that would happen on Friday. Are you calling it a sophisticated terror attack?
I'm calling it an A to A+ effort by folks who supposedly could barely even tie their shoes. Look, this was, there was a 2-day media rollout that Catherine Herridge has been reporting on. This happened in real time. We missed it. There were other indicators from other allies that weren't being put together. Brian, this is like the 9/11 attacks for the French. So all the pieces were there. It was a policy of looking elsewhere, not looking at the facts for what they are, which resulted in this. And this should be the lesson we take away from this. Look where the terrorists at, penetrate the networks, and we need to do it now before later.
President can unite Republicans and Democrats, and we can get this together and take them out if he has that opportunity now.
We must.
Well, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
More Fox.